is Jan Churchill. This plane is an O2. This airplane is a twin-engine airplane. They're built by Continental, 210 horsepower apiece. Back here is the rear engine. And actually in Vietnam, they had to use the planes that were available before they could develop a forward air control airplane. So this was a Skymaster in civilian life, and then they took it to Vietnam. But there was an advantage to having the two engines. In case one engine got shot out, they still had the other. And it will fly on one engine.
On the back, two throttle levers pushing forward, away we go.
Now watch carefully as the airplane lifts off. Watch the landing gear when it retracts. Watch it. Oh, it just broke. Look at that, it's falling off the airplane.
The landing gear in this plane is rather unique. When it retracts, the large gear doors open, and then it will swing down, and it turns and pivots and goes back. And it swings from side to side, so it looks like a duck waddling on takeoff, and you see the legs swinging and going back and going up. So it got the nickname the duck from that. And after the wheels are tucked up in the wheel wells, then the gear doors shut. So it's an interesting gear mechanism.
All right, we're going to show you some aircraft from the Vietnam era as they operated then.
These planes were used for forward air control and were used in the Vietnam War to mark the targets so that the jet fighters, which couldn't see when they were coming in fast, would have something to aim at. And the forward air controllers would say, "Hit my smoke," which is the name of this book that I wrote about forward air controllers in Southeast Asia.
Here comes John Russman downhill. And right there in the target area, he pulls up and out. The other planes above watch him and prepare to do their attack. Here comes the Skyraider downhill from the left.
The South Vietnam ordnance couldn't be put on a target without it being identified by a fact, and they would tell them what their run-in headings would be, when to pull up, which way to turn, what kind of ordnance to use. They were flying low and slow, and they were really open to hostile fire all the time. I think it took a lot of courage to fly these planes, but they had a tremendous responsibility for men that were captains and lieutenants. And the ones that I interviewed, over 100 of them, all said this was the greatest assignment they ever had in the Air Force, because they were running the air war. They were telling the fighters when to come in, which way to go, what to do, and when to pull out. It's only in recent years that the general public seems to be really interested in what these planes did and the men that flew them in Vietnam. And it's nice now that they are getting the recognition, because they saved so many lives of the troops on the ground. When they were about to be shot to pieces, they would call a FAC and say, "We've got to have air," but they meant bring in airstrikes. So they saved the lives of so many Americans.
The Skyraider that's out here today is one of only about 11 still operational in the United States, even though about 3,200 of those aircraft were built. Powered by a 3,350 cubic inch, 18-cylinder radial engine. 2 rows of 9 cylinders, just like cylinders off a Harley-Davidson motorcycle, but 18 of them all strapped together in a circle. 2 different rows, 2,700 horsepower. He needs it because this airplane, fully loaded, could weigh over 25,000 pounds. Armed with 2 or 4 20-millimeter cannons and a wide variety of bombs and rockets and mines and grenades and flares and depth charges and torpedoes, this thing could carry more bombs under its wings than a B-17 carried in the bomb bay. Even though Skyraider was its official name, it was frequently known by other nicknames like Sandy or Spad. Spad being a reference to the fact that they are relatively old prop planes still in heavy use in the jet era.